Shit, this thing is probably gonna destroy my stadium. Hey everyone, EB here, back with another video. In today's video, we're gonna be checking out the UX-15 Shark Scale deck set. So this deck set comes with 3 attack type blades, a UX one, a BX one, and a CX one. You get the Nube, which is Shark Scale 450 underflat. You get Roar Tyranno or Tyranno Roar on 170 level, and you get Hell's Brave with Jaggy and 360 gear flat. You also get this beautiful girl over here. Anyways, let's open this up and let's see the bays inside. Okay, so I have everything opened up here, and we'll just start off slow and then get to Shark Scale. So first off, we have the code here. This is for, I believe, the Hong Kong app. So just keep that in mind if you try to scan it. Then we have our CX tool. This is not very useful. You don't really need it because you can really unlock it with your fingers if you want, but it's good to have. And we get our instructions. Surprisingly, there was no little teaser paper showing the next bay, which is the new Eclipse bay. So that's kind of weird, but let's get into the bays. Hell's Brave comes with gear flat in this nice vibrant yellow color. Unfortunately, gear flat isn't the best bit. It's not bad, like it's got good speed. It can really do good extreme dashes, but its stamina is pretty bad. It's not my favorite attack type bit, but if you can make it work and you like it, go ahead. Then for the ratchet, you get 360. This is actually a really good ratchet to have. It's really common, but 360 is one of the best ratchets out there because it's round, it's got 3 contact points, and it's pretty good for stamina. You can really use this for both stamina and attack. It's at a low height, which is good too, and it's useful for a lot of combos. So good choice, and I like the color of the screen. Then for our CX blade, I guess we'll use the tool to unlock it. There's how it works. And we'll start off with the assist blade, which is Jaggy. I'm not a big fan of this color that they chose, but Jaggy is one of the best assist blades from what I've seen. It works really well on attack type blades, such as Brave, so this is a really good matchup to have. It's more compact than some of the other assist blades, and it's still pretty short, which makes it good for attack. Then for Brave, this is a pretty standard attack type blade. It's nothing amazing or anything, but one of the better CX blades out there right now. I like the color of it, and as I said, pairing it with Jaggy was a really good idea because these 2 parts actually work really well together. Finally, for our lock chip, this is the Hell's lock chip, or I guess in Hasbro it would be called Incendio, but it looks really cool. It actually is reminding me of the, what was that? The black and green Hell's chain. I'll put that up on screen so you can see it right now, but it's cool that they kind of reference that color scheme with this. And all together we have our combo, which is Hell's Brave, Jaggy, 360, and wow, this 360 is tight. And we have gear flat. So overall, not an amazing combo, but if you swap out this bit for something like Low Rush, this is actually a really good Brave combo. Next, we're going to move on to the next bay in the set, which is the BX bay. We have Tyranno Roar. First off, it comes with level, which is actually the part I'm probably most excited for. I like level a lot. It's one of my favorite bits out there. Comparing it to the original purple release, it is the same mold. So if you don't know, there was actually a new version of level released where this little mini tip in the center, I don't know if you can see it, the very small tip in the center was actually flattened out, I think, which means it performed more like a flat tip. But I'm happy that they kept the mold of this the same because level's really nice for its controlled attacks and solid stamina for an attack type bit. I'm also really happy they did it in a black color because this is a really nice colored part. It's going to look good on a lot of blades. One of which that I was thinking it could look good on is this Fox brush. Let's see how that looks. And damn, that looks nice. Moving on to the only new part found on our Tyranno Roar, which is 170. I actually really like the color. It's this nice, like, solid red. Good color choice, and it's the first time that we've actually gotten 170. We've had 160, 180. Both of those have been released numerous times now, but this is the first time that we've had a 70 height one-sided ratchet. I'm probably mostly going to use this on Tyranno Beat, because Tyranno Beat, it's one of my favorite blades, and I like using it on one-sided ratchets, and I also like using it on 70 height ratchets, so this is probably going to be the perfect ratchet for something like Tyranno Beat. Now onto the blade, we have Tyranno Roar. This looks really nice. It's not brand new or anything. We've actually had Tyranno Roar in the past from Hasbro, and you can compare them there. I think this one is so much nicer in terms of the color selection. It's also a lot more like Tyranno Beat, which I have here. You can see they definitely tried to make them match, but I like that. In terms of performance, Tyranno Roar is pretty similar to Phoenix Wing. It's just a little bit rounder. It has like bulkier, like thicker kind of contact points. Let me grab my Phoenix real quick. Okay, so here's Phoenix. You can kind of see the comparison in terms of the contact points. They use the same plastic inside, but the overall shape of the contact points has changed up a bit. So this sort of contact point with the prong, or like the launcher hook, is not really the same. It's more bulky, like kind of blocky, which does make this good for... I actually find that it works well for like defense type combos. So that's an underrated use of Roar Tyranno. But overall, this thing does basically the same thing that Phoenix Wing does, except it's a little bit lighter. And I find it has slightly better stamina, just maybe a little bit less attack power. Putting it together, we have Roar Tyranno, or Tyranno Roar, I'm not used to the name, with 170 level. Really solid combo, actually. Not bad. You could probably make this work if you wanted to use it. And it actually looks a lot better than I thought it would. Good job, Takara for this combo, and its nice colors. Finally, let's move on to the thing you've all been waiting for, which is Shark Scale. We're gonna start with underflat. Underflat is supposed to be 2 millimeters shorter than regular flat. It almost looks like it's more than 2 millimeters shorter, but it might just be my mind playing tricks on me. But yeah, it looks really good. You can see that the tip is a lot flatter this time, a lot shorter, but it has basically the same tip as flat. It's just that it's a lot shorter and closer to the gear. It also seems that the hole in the center is actually bigger than the hole of regular flat, I'm pretty sure. And the gear count is the same, it's just going to be a shorter version, which will be epic for attack type combos. I actually want to compare it to low flat, so here's low flat. You can see low flat was just completely flat and smooth. There was no like hole in the center. This one actually has the hole of regular flat, which I prefer. I think that's going to make it have a slightly better stamina, if I had to guess. Then moving on, we have another short part. This is 450. I like the color they chose, but I'm not a big fan of four-sided ratchets. I find they're kind of easy to burst a lot of the time, but they can work on certain blades. I'm sure this will be a blade that it can probably work on. And the funny thing about this is that 455 is probably useless now, because 455, the only benefit it really had was the low height that it had. But now that 450 exists, it's not only shorter, but it's gonna have better burst resistance, because these 455 type of ratchets like 385 and M85 have terrible burst resistance. This will probably have better burst resistance, making 455 kind of useless in my opinion. But maybe I'll be wrong. I'm just glad to see that we're finally getting 50 height ratchets. I also think that this combination here will be really useful in CX attack types, because it will be able to make them shorter and make the metal make more contact. Finally, we have Shark Scale. So a lot of people thought this was a CX blade when it was first revealed. It actually is UX. So we can see here by the launcher prongs that they seem to be more raised up. I think that's actually because the blade of Shark is lower. So the metal sits at a lower height, and that's going to be really good for upper attacks, really good for ratchet sniping and getting under the ratchets of bays to burst them. It also feels pretty solid, like it's got pretty decent weight. I don't have a scale to weigh it, but this thing is probably going to be a monster. And if we compare it to the original Shark, here is Shark Edge, and we can see it looks really cool. It looks like it's probably going to outclass Shark Edge if I had to guess. Putting it all together, we can kind of see what the gimmick of this bay is, and that's just that it's so short. For example, here it is. Here's how it looks kind of like next to Tyranno. You can see it's quite a bit shorter. And then next to a CX bay, this thing is going to be a monster, being able to get under that assist blade. And I cannot wait to see how this thing performs in battle. It's probably going to be a monster, and these parts are going to be really fun for attack type combinations. I'm mostly done with my yapping now, so let's get into the test launches. I'm not going to do any battles in this video, but stay tuned because I will be doing battles with Shark Skill. Let's try launching our Hell's Brave. So it's gonna move around like how you'd expect. It's a pretty standard attack type combo. It does look nice when it spins though, and I'm probably gonna be disassembling this combo and taking the parts for other combos. Next up, here we have Tyranno Roar. This is a really sick combo. This one I might keep as stock, I don't know. And finally, let's try Shark Skill. 3, 2, 1, go shit. That thing is holy. Shit, this thing is probably gonna destroy my stadium. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think of this deck set in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think of this set. In my opinion, I think it's pretty good value. This stock combo here of Shark Skill is a rare case of where a stock combo will probably be good out of the box. It seems like you can't really go wrong with the spear. The burst resistance might be iffy, but I can already tell you the parts on this are probably going to be pretty useful for other combos at least. And looking at the other two bays, you got Tyranno Roar, which isn't a must-have, but I'd say it's a good blade to have. 170 is a really good ratchet, probably. I'm just guessing. Obviously, I haven't tried it yet, so I can't say. But just knowing how 160 is, I'm sure this will probably be a useful ratchet to have. And level is obviously a great bit to have too. And this is probably the best way of getting level now. I'd say probably don't buy Samurai Saber anymore. If you want level, get this set. And then for this Hell's Brave, it's solid. Like I'd say if you have other bits like Low Rush, you can definitely make this part pretty good, or this combo pretty good. So overall, I'm gonna recommend this set. In the comments, you can let me know what videos you want to see with Shark Skill, and I guess that's about it. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.